It's Doug Boring, World Series Reviews. 1912, Boston Red Sox versus the New York Giants. Let's do this. 1912. Of all the World Series that I have looked into so far, this is by far the craziest one. Probably the most exciting, maybe even a little wacky. Tons of clutch, memorable baseball moments. And literally every game is affected by a litany of fielding errors on both sides. Now, if you remember the first World Series, 1903, both teams made a combined 32 errors. I used Google to look that up, and I had to fight with the AI to get it to give me the right answer. If you want to feel better about your baseball knowledge, ask Google AI a bunch of questions. It'll get it wrong 100% of the time, and you can just bully it. It's pretty cool if you're a nerd like that. As I was saying, the first World Series, the last time Boston was in it, just a ton of errors scored. So I don't know, maybe they were like, hey, this is how we used to do it back in the day, and everybody didn't bring their glove or something. It's pretty frustrating how stupid some of the errors are in this, or just how frequent they are, actually. The New York Giants, pretty much similar to the team we saw in 1911, a base-stealing team, didn't quite reach their record in the 340 range, but still 300 stolen bases as a team. They dominate the National League, get off to a 54-11 start, no question here. 10 games ahead of the Pittsburgh Pirates, fantastic performance. In the American League, a lot of the headlines dominated by the Tigers' Ty Cobb. This is the year he wanders into the stands and beats up a fan with no hands. Not that he doesn't use his hands, like the fan doesn't have hands. Whatever, let Ty Cobb figure his own shit out. He doesn't have anything to do with this World Series. The Red Sox win the league by 14 games. Not a lot of suspense there. It's a team we haven't seen yet. Jake Stahl, their manager at first base. The legendary Tris Speaker in center field. One of the greatest players of his time. Very controversial nowadays. Reportedly a member of the KKK by some sources. A virulent racist. On the other hand, a big advocate of Larry Doby in 1948 when he integrates the American League, speaking very positively of him in the papers and coaching him. So I don't know if you have to hand it to Tris Speaker. I mean, maybe he changed his ways, but he did keep the game segregated for an insanely long time, or his class of players did. Smokey Joe Wood, the dominant pitcher for the Boston Americans. They're called the Red Sox now. They've discovered footwear. Smokey Joe Wood, the dominant pitcher for the Red Sox, with a 1.91 ERA. That doesn't lead the league, but he does lead the league with 35 complete games. 19 of those are shutouts, 34 wins. Just unreal numbers compared to today's pitching. They work this guy to death, though. His arm practically falls off. He's never the same pitcher again after this. Finds second life as an outfielder, though, in the late 19-teens, 20s. So really, really resilient guy. Very cool. We got our first guy named Steve. Last year's champion, the Philadelphia Athletics, finishing behind the Red Sox. Their legendary second baseman, Eddie Collins, predicts in the news that the Red Sox are going to take this one from the Giants. And remember some of the infighting and the two pitchers openly writing articles disparaging each other in the middle of the series the previous year, although we don't get any of that in 1912. Collins even states that if Marquardt starts, I think he will be mauled badly. Damn, what did that guy do to you, Eddie? 1912 is also the year that Fenway Park opens up in Boston. Oldest park in the league, still there today. Lowest seating capacity at the time. So let's break down these games. Series starts at the Polo Grounds in New York, and we already have a little bit of controversy right away as Giants manager John McGraw chooses to go with the rookie Jeff Tessero to pitch game one rather than the aces Christy Mathewson or Rube Marquardt. He wanted to protect the rookie from Fenway, saving Matty and Rube for that situation. Tessero with a leading 1.96 ERA, though, so he does have a claim to being a good game one pitcher. Also, the Royal Rooters, if you remember from 1903, are still there. These goofy guys with big dumb hats that sing Dropkick Murphys songs or something and annoy the crowd. We've got about 1,000 of these guys following him to the Polo Grounds in New York, so there's some obnoxious Boston fans in the house as well. Tessero off to a great start. He takes a no-hitter into the 6th inning with a 2-0 lead by the Giants. But then we get our first notable error affecting the game. Fly ball off the bat at Tris Speaker. Center fielder Fred Snodgrass calls off the left fielder Josh DeVore. He can't get there in time. This thing drops. What should have been an out or just a base hit for Speaker turns into a triple. The guy's at third. He scores on a grounder by Duffy Lewis. It's now 2-1 Giants. Red Sox are on the board. In the 7th inning, the Sox take the lead, however. We got Singles by Heine Wagner, their shortstop, no relation to Hannes Wagner. It's like a copycat shortstop, maybe. And then Forrest Hick Cady, their catcher. The Hick, like maybe a hillbilly, I guess. Regardless, singles by Wagner and Cady. Second baseman Larry Doyle misplays a double play ball, which would have ended the inning, only gets the runner at second. Red Sox are still alive. Catcher Chief Myers has a chance to end the inning on a pop-up foul off of the bat of Harry Hooper, and he cannot catch that. We have another mistake. The Red Sox are still alive, and they make the Giants pay. An RBI double by Harry Hooper, a 2-run single by Steve Yerkes. It's now 4-2 Red Sox going into the ninth inning. Giants threatening to come back and maybe walk it off in the ninth inning. We got runners on first and second when a Chief Myers single scores Fred Merkle. In left field, Duffy Lewis for the Red Sox throws home when he really had no chance to get Merkle instead of third. Herzog's safe at third. You got the tying run at third. You got the walk-off winning run at second. And then Smokey Joe Wood shuts him down. Art Fletcher strikes out. Pitcher Doc Crandall, who's good with the bat, generally strikes out as well. A win for Wood. Boston goes up 4-3. 11 strikeouts in that game for Smokey Joe. Game 2. This sounds like it might be the most frustrating game in World Series history. This sucks. And it's not the fault of Christy Mathewson, who throws a complete game, 10-inning complete game, allowing 6 runs, none of them earned. Unbelievable, the errors. 5 Giants errors, various other misplays cost Matty this game. Good God, how he didn't strangle some of his teammates. Shortstop Art Fletcher for the Giants is maybe the main culprit here. His first error comes in the first and loads the bases up for the Red Sox. A grounder off the glove of Mathewson scores a run. Jake Stahl with a single, which scores 2 more. There was a Chick Stahl in the first World Series. How do you got 2 guys named Stahl that are both in the Red Sox? It's like they're trying to confuse me. Boston's up 3-0. By the 8th inning, the score is 4-2 Boston. When the Giants managed to put up 3 more and take the lead 5-4. For the Giants that day, Red Murray and Buck Herzog were just slugging. 3 hits for each of them. Herzog driving in 3 of their runs that day. But then in the bottom of the inning, Art Fletcher makes his 3rd error of the day on a ground ball. It costs the Giants the lead. The score's 5-5, and we go into extra innings. An exciting 10th inning as we get late into the game. The Giants take the lead. We got a triple by Fred Merkle of the famous Merkle boner pull. And then Moose McCormick with a sac fly to send that go-ahead run home. Moose McCormick sounds like another big boy. We got some big Giants. And then the bottom of the 10th, replacement center fielder Bills Becker for the Giants misplays another speaker fly ball, and it turns into another triple for him, just like the previous game. And then he scores on an error by their replacement catcher Art Wilson on the throw home. So it kind of turns into a Little League home run type of situation and ties the game at 6. And then they call it because of darkness in the 11th. They don't replay games back then. They just take the extra gate money and pad their stats. This has got to be incredibly frustrating for Mathewson. 6-6, 11 innings. It's unbelievable. So the Red Sox are up 1-0, even though we've played 2. And we've already had like more action in the first 2 games than we had in like the first 4 World Series. This is nuts. Game 3, we have some really good defense in here, mixed with some more errors. The Giants get a run in the 2nd and in the 5th and take the lead 2-0 going all the way into the 9th. Rube Marquardt taking a 5-hit shutout into the 9th inning before the Red Sox can score on him. Infield single by Duffy Lewis and then an RBI double by Larry Gardner gets what's going to be the only run for the Red Sox in this one. Marquardt then gets the lead runner Gardner at 3rd on a ground ball making a sharp play. But then an error by Fred Merkle extends the inning for the Giants. A drop throw from Art Fletcher at short on a grounder by Heine Wagner. Wagner follows up by stealing second base. You got runners on 2nd and 3rd. Winning run is on. Another game coming down to the line. When Fred Snodgrass makes what is described as a great catch, apparently the dark was coming down in the previous game. Maybe they should start the games earlier. And Snodgrass makes this catch that a lot of the fans do not see, reportedly, because of the gloaming, as they seem to like to call it in the newspaper. New York fans went home unhappy, thinking that was a walk-off hit for the Red Sox, only to find out in the news that the Giants had actually just tied the series on a great play. Games 1 and 3 coming down to the line with the winning runs on before the deciding play. Really exciting baseball so far. 2-1 win for the Giants. Game 4, Smokey Joe Woods on the mound again. He claims victory with 8 strikeouts and no walks in this game. The control on this dude. Red Sox, they get single runs in the 2nd and 4th. Giants get their only run in the 7th. Buck Herzog single, Art Fletcher double. Another run in the 9th for Boston, a 3-1 victory. For the Red Sox, all 3 of the rallies are kicked off by their third baseman, Larry Gardner, this little 5'7" short king guy at third. Double, a walk, and a single, respectively. Only reason he doesn't score all 3 of the runs is they get him at second on a fielder's choice. It's just an absolute spark plug for them in this game. Boston's up in the series 2-1 now. Game 5, we got a pitcher's game this time. Christy Mathewson versus Hugh Bediant? I want to French that up for some reason. Hugh Bediant? I don't know how to say that. Bediant sounds like you're describing something. Boston scores both of their runs in the 2nd in this game. Consecutive triples by Harry Hooper and Steve Yurkis gives them 1. And then an error by Larry Doyle again scores another one. Okay. And then the Giants score in the 7th on a Merkle double, and then another error by Larry Gardner this time. Okay, so even he's not doing good defense, even though he's hitting clutch. Only 5 hits for the Red Sox, 3 for the Giants. Absolute pitching showdown, absolute duel. Errors, again, a factor in this one. 2-1 Red Sox in this game. Boston's now up 3-1. It is do or die for the Giants, but they are heading back to the Polo Grounds. Game 6, controversy to start this one off again before the game even starts. Boston's owner Jim McAleer talks their manager Jake Stahl into resting Smokey Joe Wood another day and sending Bucky O'Brien out there, who had pitched a good game earlier in the series. Some fans speculating he wanted to force a loss for an extra game to get more gate money. I don't know. We got a horrible first inning for O'Brien. This goes really bad. He gets a batter. Larry Doyle singles and steals a base. He Ks Snodgrass to get 2 outs. Not bad so far, but then it starts. We got a single by Red Murray. Doyle's now on third. When Doyle scores on a balk, when they're not making errors and bobbling the ball and throwing to the wrong base, the pitcher is balking in a run. The description of this was he was wobbling around on the mound like he was drunk. Like that was the story. Like, he had to start, so he got wasted the night before, and so he was tottering around out there. I don't know if that's true or not, but this doesn't look good. Then, 3 consecutive hits, doubles by Fred Merkle, Buck Herzog, single by Chief Myers. We got a double steal with Herzog stealing home plate, and then an error by Steve Yurkis on the throw, and slow catcher Myers is at second. Ugh. 5 consecutive hits off of Bryan. A Fletcher single makes it 5-0 New York. Fletcher's picked off at first to end this wild inning. It took like a half an hour to get through it. O'Brien's pulled for a pinch hitter in the 2nd. He's replaced by Ray Collins, who pitches a pretty good game after that. 5 hits, no runs allowed in the next 7 innings. But it's basically over for Boston. The Red Sox do rally in the top of the 2nd. Larry Gardner, big surprise there, starts it off by reaching on an error by Root Marquardt. And then a single by Jake Stahl. Clyde Engel pinch hits for O'Brien. He hits a double, and they drive in 2 unearned runs. But that's all scoring for this game. It's 5-2, Giants. Boston's up 3-2 in the series. We're going into Game 7. But it's not the final game because of the tie. And more nonsense, more extracurricular nonsense. The executives in Boston gave away some of the seats that the Royal Rooters sit in because of the scheduling change due to the tie game. And these guys are pissed off. These entitled dickheads storm the field before the game, are forced back by the police, storm the field a 2nd time before they can get them off of there. And the ones that do remain are cheering against the Red Sox and just being a goddamn nuisance. Things don't look good for the Red Sox anyway, though. Another first inning disaster. This time it's Smokey Joe Wood just getting abused. Tons of hits and RBIs in the inning, man. You got singles by Josh DeVore and Larry Doyle. Another famous Giants-style double steal. 2 RBI double by Fred Snodgrass. Fred Merkle with a single for another run. He advances to second on the throw home. A single by Myers. A single by Fletcher. A single by Testro. It's 6-0 Giants. Shit. When things go bad for the Red Sox, they go bad in the series. Another out on the base pass, though, is Tessero is caught stealing to end the inning. These guys are also getting picked off constantly. Charlie Hall comes in relief for Boston, and he starts off the second with a couple of walks, but he picks off DeVore at second. Like I said, these guys getting picked off into bases. A Fred Snodgrass single moves the runner, Larry Doyle, to second base, and Hall, with the previous success, goes for another pickoff, but he throws this one into the outfield for another error. 7-0 Giants. Looking like a blowout here. But my little guy, my little friend Larry Gardner, with a home run for the first Red Sox run. You know how there's weird ground rules in these old dead ball era games? At this point, I think it was all a baseball. I don't think it was just this game. What would be considered a ground rule double now, the bounce into the crowd, is a home run. So it's like a bounce home run. Yeah. This only happens a couple times in this very game, actually. Larry Doyle does the same in the 6th for the Giants. It doesn't really affect the game very much. It's not exploited too much, but there are a couple home runs that would be ground rule doubles nowadays. 9-1 Giants. Giants make it 10-1 in the 7th. Boston gets 2 more in the 7th with an assist from an error by Larry Doyle. It's 10-3 New York. Boston gets their 4th runs thanks to Doyle again with another error on a pop-up leading to a run, 10-4 New York. Giants make it a final score of 11-4 in the 9th. Another unearned run. Another error. Did they bring it? Catch the ball! Like with your glove! Throw it to your teammate! What? Easy for me to say, but dude. So it's a blowout game, 11-4. The Giants win. Notably, in this one, we do have one really cool defensive moment. Tris Speaker makes the only unassisted double play from the outfield, center field in World Series history. This is a Speaker trademark, apparently, running in to catch that shallow fly ball line drive from center and then just coming charging right into the base and stepping on it for that second out. So kind of interesting. You don't see a lot of that nowadays. Larry Doyle, with his tons of errors, does score 3 times. I mean, they beat the shit out of the Red Sox. Kind of footnote in this game that the relief pitcher Charlie Hall is the absolute best hitter in the game for Boston with 3 hits, so he's kind of a beast up there. And then the rooters get on the field again and celebrate their team's loss like a bunch of idiots. I don't know. Are you really a fan of your team, or you can't tell the difference between the team and the owners, or you just want to be seen? There's not cameras like there is now. I hate to see these guys do tarps off. The Giants fend off defeat again in an 11-4 blowout in Boston, forcing a Game 8. This is the second time in World Series history we've got a Game 8. First time was the other time Boston was involved, which was a best-of-9 series. So no ties in that one. Game 8. The rooters making their mark by setting up a picket line and telling people to boycott the game in the papers because they lost their seats, and the Red Sox aren't playing well, and they started the wrong guy when they started O'Brien over Wood by listening to the owner. So they literally cut the attendance in half for this game. It's only 17,000 people show up for the finale of this book, one of the best World Series ever. If you don't count the 30 errors. So, Game 8, the Giants score 1 in the 3rd. Josh DeVore walks, Red Murray doubles. In the 5th inning, we have the good defense instead of the bad defense. The good defense, Harry Hooper making a sick catch. Fly ball off Larry Doyle's bat goes into the temporary seating area. If it's anything like the other World Series I've seen, they just have a bunch of people sitting on the field behind some ropes, and Hooper just tumbles into the crowd and catches that ball. Red Sox tie it up in the 7th. Jake Stahl singles, Heine Wagner takes a walk. Pinch hitter Olaf Henriksen, some Viking guy, hits for obedience and doubles down the left field line to score a run. Smokey Joe Wood comes in relief, and he is available on short rest because he literally pitched 1 inning the game before just getting his ass kicked in. In the bottom of the 9th, the Red Sox get the winning run on second base on a Jake Stahl double, but then Christy Mathewson gets a couple fly balls to get the outs, and we're going into extra innings for the second time in the series. Top of the 10th, the Giants take the lead. Red Murray with a double, Fred Merkle with a single, Merkel goes to second when Speaker bobbles the ball. It's not an error, but that still sucks. Then Smokey Joe Wood almost single-handedly gets him out of the inning. Strikes out Herzog, and then he bare hands a nasty grounder from Chief Myers for the third out to just throw him out at first. His hand's too hurt. He can't really pitch for the rest of the game after this. But that does not end up mattering. In the bottom of the 10th, Clyde Engel, the main pinch hit guy for Boston, hits a fly ball, and then we have Fred Snodgrass's $30,000 muff. That sounds gross. And expensive. It's $30,000, I guess, was the difference between the winning and losing shares of the series. Whatever. These journalists with the naming the errors like muffs and boners, they're just grow up, dude. Well, Freddie Snodgrass, this little punk tries to redeem himself. He makes what is, by all accounts, an amazing catch on the next play. Harry Hooper hits a fly ball. Snodgrass crashes into the wall. Clyde Engel has to haul his ass back to second. Barely does that in time. Almost redeems himself. Steve Yurkis walks. Trish Speaker pops a foul on the first base side. And do I even need to tell you that this is like a bad play? Pop up first base side, triangulating the ball sort of defensively. You got the catcher, Chief Myers. You got first baseman, Fred Merkel. You got the pitcher, Christy Mathewson. And someone calls off everybody except Myers, the catcher, who's the furthest from the ball, and so no one catches it, and Speaker's still alive. By some accounts, Mathewson did it, made a bad choice, but by other accounts, it was the runner, Trish Speaker, yelling, "Hey, Chief, take it," to mess up the defense. This actually seems kind of plausible to me. Also, for the remainder of the play, a lot of the accounts have Speaker just jawing at Mathewson and just hurling all kinds of threats and saying they basically had it tied up, so I wouldn't be surprised if that came out of his mouth. Speaker then hits a single, that scores Engel, and then ties the game up. Runners are on second and third. Josh DeVore chooses to throw home instead of third, where that winning run is, similar to the play in the first game with Duffy Lewis. At least he stops the runner from scoring. Reading accounts of this play and the previous play, I've seen it called both a smart and a dumb play, so I'm going to call what you want. They choose to intentionally walk Duffy Lewis to face Larry Gardner. I don't know if they're keeping track of the amount of scoring runs that Gardner started. Because our little fella hits a sac fly, and we have an extra inning walk-off in Game 8. The Red Sox win their second ever World Series. Man, walk-off, extra innings in Game 8, a few pitching performances, including a certified duel, just a shit ton of error, controversial plays on and off of the field, every choice by the managers just scrutinized. This is a really interesting one. It's wild. Could you name an MVP? Maybe Hugh Bediant. He pitches 18 innings, .50 ERA. Only gets one decision, though. Just one win. Smokey Joe Wood, admirable performance, strikes out 21. Two of the wins come down on him, but a 4.50 ERA, allowing 27 hits. Only 3 walks and all of that. That's pretty damn impressive, the control on this guy. Care to join us? Maybe Larry Gardner. His name is attached to nearly every scoring drive Boston has in the last few games. Also, maybe the short guys deserve one. He drives in 5 runs and scores 4, but absolute scoring catalyst. He only bats 179, so he's just kind of clutch, not really an overall hitter. Buck Herzog for the Giants is really their standout, if you want to look at that. Bats 400, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 RBIs. They put up a hell of an effort, nearly win it. Chief Myers, Red Murray, 10 hits apiece. Murray scores 5 times. Not bad for the Giants. No lack of offense, but the fielding for the Giants... is shitty. It's not good. The fielding for the Giants is not good. It's not good for the Red Sox either. These guys don't... Come on, man. If you took a shot for every time you said error in this video, you'd probably die. Yeah, that was wild. We'll be back for the 1913 series. We got Connie Mack, John McGraw Part 3 as the Athletics take on the Giants again. So I'll see you in 1913. Try not to make too many fielding errors between now and then.